Imagine it like this, but not just your little card, it's your personal human business card. The first impression, you come here, whether you look me in the eyes the first time, give me a handshake like an adult who stands firmly in life, who has presence, right? You are sincere, you stand up straight, you look at me, you give me a proper handshake. That doesn't mean you crush my hand, but I can just feel that you're not a living, breathing wet rag. Then you've already made a good first impression. But if you look down at the floor, look away and give me that limp handshake, then I can't help but immediately think, what's going on here? That's a low energy person standing in front of me. And then I have to ask myself whether I should spend more of my valuable time, my life with this person. And everyone should do the same? That's not arrogant, snobbish or anything like that at all. Our time is running out, the hourglass of life is running out every day, and we should spend it with interesting people who help us move forward. Anyone who just stands still is actually already falling behind all the time, right? You want to develop yourself further, and even if, in case of doubt, to those people who now say, yeah, I have a really negative environment, I don't know what I should do. I get messages like that quite often, actually. You all know exactly what you should do. You just need to have the guts to actually go through with it. And that means, first of all, facing the pain of loneliness and separating yourself from your friends, if you can even call them friends, because friends should have a positive influence. Let's just call it your environment, separating yourself from that. Yeah. And people need to have the guts for that, to find the courage to do it. And a lot of people don't want that, because in the end, all they really want is, yeah, but I can hang out with them and go out drinking on the weekend. Well, if that's all there is, okay, but then don't expect anything from your life. It's that simple.
Sometimes it's better to be alone than to surround yourself with people who aren't good for you. And anyone who changes will probably lose friends, but that's okay.
You will lose friends when you change. People won't be able to relate to you anymore, and in case of doubt, they'll blame you for it. But that's actually a good sign when they blame you. By doing that, they're showing you that you don't fit together.
And I think that's the most important thing, whether it's by writing down your goals, taking ice baths, or doing red light therapies, really about establishing these routines, sticking to them, and in doing so, moving yourself into this positive mindset bubble and forward momentum. And then maintaining that momentum upward instead of saying, okay, I'll do it today, but not tomorrow, and then skip 3 days and start again. No, really do it every single day.
This general idea of it's a hopeless situation and it's going to be hopeless for everyone. And that's absolute bullshit. Maybe there are certain things we all have to go through, but how we deal with them, whether we keep our composure, whether we cry miserably and give up, or whether we accept the situation and, if necessary, put ourselves in a better position, that's something we ultimately decide for ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. Simply understanding and realizing that you yourself are the master of your perception in any situation is, I think, the most important thing you can take away from this image, and what all of you should take away from this podcast. No matter what situation you're in, no matter how negative, no matter how positive, always try to be aware that at the end of the day, you decide how you perceive that situation. And that has a huge, gigantic, the biggest influence on what the outcome of the situation actually ends up being for you. So really, even in daily life, I don't know what could happen in daily life. It's raining, you're running to your car, you start the car, you're late for work because of some unfortunate circumstance, and then the car battery is dead and the car won't start and it's raining. And in that situation, you can either sit in your car and freak out with anger, or just run to the train and take the train instead. And I can guarantee you it won't get you anywhere. But really, in every situation, whether positive or negative perception, you have to understand you are able to decide how you perceive things. And that changes everything.
New Havana Club, mango, and lime. Mix it with Lemonic. Refresh in Cuban.
It fundamentally changes everything about the entire situation. It can change your whole life. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast with this young, extremely successful man here, because he realized this so incredibly early in life. Now, when someone says to you, best example, so many examples are coming to mind right now, but the best example is YouTube. You can make a video. One person says, hey, you're a great guy, and another says, you're the biggest jerk, you're a bad person. Both saw exactly the same content, but they perceived it differently. And there are people who just can't stand you. How do you deal with that now? Dealing with setbacks is something you can train by, let's say, constantly sharpening your blade. So if you expose yourself to these kinds of situations more often, you can train yourself not to react to setbacks like a little crybaby anymore. That it immediately feels personal to you. We live in a society nowadays where everyone and everything is instantly rubbed raw with sensitivity and, oh God, now I feel personally attacked. And people today are just much more sensitive about things in general. You immediately feel personally attacked. You instantly feel somehow you go on the defensive and then fire back. Would you agree with that, especially when it comes to the younger generation?
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's also encouraged in a way to feel triggered by everything and everyone. The only difference you have when you understand that you control your perception of yourself is that you reclaim the power over the situation.
Basically, no matter what situation you're in, still, no matter how hopeless it may seem, yes. And it's so easy nowadays, you probably know this yourself. I see this, and when I talk to other people from YouTube channels, they confirm the same thing to me. Germany is finished, we're all screwed, we're gonna go under. It's this general, it's a hopeless situation, and it's gonna be hopeless for everyone. And that's absolute bullshit. I can only keep saying this, a collective fate never has to be an individual fate. Every person can decide for themselves. Maybe certain things will happen that we all have to go through, but how we deal with them, whether we keep our composure, whether we cry miserably and give up, or whether we accept the situation and if necessary, put ourselves in a better position, that's something we ultimately decide for ourselves. Focus is an essential part of success no matter what it is. If you're not focused, you miss the mark. So it's really important that you stick to your goals and keep bringing yourself back on track. So if you notice that you're drifting off, if you realize you're no longer doing what you actually should be doing, and time just keeps slipping away, it goes by so quickly. The older you get, the more you realize how quickly time actually passes. So keep bringing yourself back and make sure you refocus on what matters. Try some kind of trick. Do you know the one with the rubber band, for example? So for example, if there's something you don't want to do and you want to train yourself to bring your focus back, just take a regular rubber bandone that everyone knows, put it around your wrist, and whenever you catch yourself drifting off again, snap it once. That way your mind will start to associate it. This very brief pain, if you will, when the band snaps against your hand, you can store that as a memory. I bring myself back, I bring myself back, I bring myself back. It's actually a really good exercise, almost therapeutic, to train yourself to stay more focused and not get distracted. I come home from the office, I come home, go to the table, open my laptop, it's always the very first thing I do and so on. If I don't force myself to stop, there's no end to it. I can't keep going anyway. Bam, 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 all the time. You just invested in crypto at the right time and that's why you've become wealthy now, blah, blah, blah. What a load of nonsense. When I hear that, when I see other people, it doesn't matter who it is, I can honestly say I would never say about anyone, no matter who I see, that they just got lucky. And especially not about you. You had to make a decision at a young age while others were going out and getting drunk. You chose to invest in crypto, to focus on things that most other young people your age weren't interested in.